With the Necron Codex just a few weeks away, we're going to take a look at the new article posted by GW, just previewing some of their new rules and units. My name's Alex, and you're watching Major League Nerd. Alright guys, so if you're a Necron player, this is for you. If you're not a Necron player, you can look and see at the new glory that they are getting and be envious just like me. We're not going to look at the reanimation protocol, because I already did a video of that. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out on my YouTube channel. You can find it, I believe in you. But I just go over the rules, a little bit of a TLDR, just kind of reading through it and talking a bit about what it could potentially mean for Necrons. But with that being said, we're going to look at some of the other content in this wonderful article. Up first is we've got a new look at one of the protocols. So if you don't know what the new Necron protocols are, it's a little bit similar to the Space Marine doctrines, but in this one, we'll read it right here just so you get the GW wording rather than my wording. Before a game starts, you secretly assign one of 6 protocols to each of the first 5 battle rounds. Then, when you reach the relevant battle round, you choose one of the 2 directives associated with the protocol to be active for that round, and any unit that's within 6 inches of a Necron character can benefit from it. And there's a little double asterisk there, maybe that's to do with Corwell. We'll jump down and see what it means. This represents the superior Necrons. The superior Necrons having a certain level of control over their legions. Oh, it has nothing to do with the actual gameplay itself. Just a little side note. But so what they're previewing right here is a new protocol. So these protocols, if you haven't heard about them, just like I read, basically choose one that goes with each battle round, and on the battle round, the protocol will have one of 2 things that you want it to do. So you're getting a little bit of tactical flexibility depending on when you're going, depending on who you're going against, and I don't believe they've told when you select these. I don't know if it's once you know if you go first or second, but this does provide a bit of change to the gameplay, right? Maybe you're showing up to the table not sure what you're going against, whether it's an event or just going into a game blind, not knowing what your opponent is. This allows you to maybe change your gameplay a bit. So we're going to look at one of the new protocols they have released. So Protocol of the Sunstorm. So Directive 1, add 1 to the move characteristics of model in this unit, and Directive 2, if this unit is performing an action, it can still make attacks with ranged weapons without that action failing. Wow, so the first one, pretty good. You're getting a little bit of extra mobility, nothing crazy, but that second one seeming really powerful. So for those who may not have had a chance to play 9th edition or may not be super in depth with the rules, what this does is typically when you perform an action, you aren't allowed to attack or charge. You can't do anything. Basically, that entire unit's job for that turn or battle round, depending on what action it is, they are performing the action. They can't shoot, they can't charge, they can't punch, can't do anything. But the Necrons see that and they say no, and they decide that they can still shoot or attacks without failing that action. So this allows them to win a bit more of the action economy, because they're not having to take units and dedicating them to, like, hey, see this blob of warriors, they're going to raise the banner now, they can't do anything for the rest of the turn. Just kidding, they can still shoot and raise the banner. I think this will fit the Necron playstyle because they're going to want to take advantage of their reanimation protocols, which might mean they're running a bit more Horde. We'll see what their codex, how that codex supports them in that choice, but I think running a bit more Horde is going to be the Necron style, which then they're not going to want to have 30 Necron warriors not doing anything besides raising a banner. How many Necron warriors does it take to raise a banner? Certainly not 30. But with this Directive 2 of Protocol of the Sunstorm, you can now have them raise a banner and still shooting, which is really powerful. Next, we've got a new unit. Let's see, Robotic Reinforcements. It's not just been the Overlords coming up with the new schemes to reclaim the rightful domain. The Cryptex have also been clearly busy as the tomb loads of new units for your Necron army. So right here we've got what looks kind of like a Necron. Excuse me. Whoa, burp. A Necron. What we've got here is a bit of a Necron Kelermorph, which looks pretty freaking sweet. We've got 6 pistols here. They say the quantity has quality of its own, and that's especially true when armed with 6 guns. Hexmark destroyers were once death marks, but now they go into battle carrying multiple anemic destroyer pistols. That is a beautiful model. So we've got a 6-armed character killer, looks like. Mentioning death marks, which are the Necron snipers, we've got an 18-inch pistol 1, strength 6, -1 AP, 1 damage. I like to see the character sniping having a little bit of AP. Typically characters, unless you're shooting at orcs, have decent saves. So if you're shooting, you know, a bunch of shots at a Space Marine character who has a 2-up save, they don't care. They're gonna maybe plink 1 damage, and you might kill them by the end of turn 5, but probably not. So having a bit of AP is good in my opinion. So yeah, and as if 6 shots isn't enough, they get to fire more when they take out enemy models. Multi-threat eliminator. Each time an enemy model is destroyed by a range attack made by this model's enemic and the CN enemy disintegrator pistol. After this model makes the rest of its attacks, it can shoot one of its pistols. I'm a disintegrator pistol. I can say that word. 1 additional time. These attacks cannot generate additional attacks. So yeah, so we hear that the Kilomorph has asked to postpone its planned duel with the Hexmark Destroyer. So it's got a bit of a similar rule to Kilomorph, where if you destroy a model, it gets to shoot again. I assume that's for each pistol, so you probably have to. Basically for every model killed, you get to shoot one more time. They can't shoot one more time, but that is pretty good. Maybe not necessarily for character taking out, but if you're shooting hordes, right, you get 6 shots. And if you kill, if they're weaker, if you're shooting Tyranids or Orcs, you're probably gonna. If you get 6 shots, you're probably gonna. Depending on the day. Anyways, I don't want to go into math, but you're gonna kill a few of them. I don't feel like doing math right now because we don't have his ballistic skill. But you're gonna kill a few of them. You're gonna be able to kill a few more. So he's gonna allow you to really start clearing out hordes, which is gonna be interesting. Up next, we've got an update to the Monolith. So even though the Monolith isn't a brand new unit, it does get a brand new model. Look at those warriors climbing out, being animated or reanimated, assembles. That's probably the right word. In the middle of the Monolith. That's a beautiful, beautiful model. To give you a bit of an update, let's see, to its weapons. Not only does it have additional 4 wounds, so it's getting plus 4 wounds. I don't know what that puts it at. If it puts it over 18, that is a bummer because it won't benefit from obscuring. But its weapons also undergo an upgrade, and there's even a new option, the Death Ray. This is very fitting for Necrons, which you can take in place of the Gauss Flux Arc. Alright, so the Death Ray, 24 inches, heavy 1, strength 8, AP 3, and D3 plus 3 damage. That is pretty powerful. I believe that's a similar profile as the new Repulsor Executioner. So you got the Gauss Flux Arc, Rapid Fire 3 at 30 inches, strength 5, 2 AP, 1 damage, the Particle Whip, 36 inches, D6 shots, 12 strength, 3 AP, 3 damage, blast, pretty good. And then the Portal of Exile, which I love the fact that this Monolith gets a melee weapon, just runs up and rams you or exiles you, it consumes you and shoots you to Exile Land. I don't know the lore for this. I don't know where it sends you. It sends you to Disneyland, but all the rides are closed except for it's a small world and you're stuck on it. So that's canon now. But each time an attack is made with this weapon, that automatically hits the target. So it is not bad in combat. I'm not saying that you want to run it up and charge into things, but if you need to in a pinch, this could be some pretty interesting, some pretty funny moments in the game. And up next, last but not least, is the Catan Shard of the Void Dragon. So this is I think going to be a game changer for it. It's absolutely insane. We'll have to see how many points this costs, but the rules alone are they're quite terrifying. And such a cool model too. Like, oh my gosh. So we've got 8 movement, 2 up attack, 2 up to shoot, 6 strength, 7 wounds, 9 wounds. So it is under that 10 wounds, which does mean that it does benefit from the Lookout Sir, which makes it that much more survivable. 5 attacks, leadership 10, 3 up save. So when you combine that profile with the power granted by the Spear of the Void Dragon, the Catan Shard will be easily cutting its way through enemy units in the name of its Necron Enslaver. So it's got a melee variant and a shooting variant of the Spear of the Void Dragon. So 12 inch range, heavy 1, 9 strength, 4 AP, D6 damage. With the ability that reads, each time an attack is made with this weapon, if a hit is scored, draw a straight line between the closest point of this model, base, or home, and the closest model in the target unit. Make one wound roll against the target unit and each other unit the line passes over. Each time an attack made with this weapon is allocated to a vehicle, that attack has a damage characteristic of D3 plus 3. Wow. So basically, if you can position that right, 12 inches isn't an insane range, but if you can position that right, it's not just one shot. You're gonna be getting a couple shots, and if you can get a couple of vehicles in line with that don't have an invul save, and you're gonna be cutting straight through those 3-up armors with D3 plus 3 damage, which is absolutely insane. So it's got some pretty strong potential there. The melee variant puts it at strength 9, 4 AP, just D6 damage, and the same thing in terms of if you're attacking a vehicle, it's D3 plus 3 damage. So that is pretty good with 5 attacks. Not bad in the slightest. Those D3 plus 3 just really helping the efficiency, because D6 can be really swingy. You can either do 6 damage or 1 damage, and I think we've all rolled a 1 damage on a D6 and then CP'd that into another one, which it hurts the soul. So having that D3 plus 3 is good. On top of that, it has a 4-up invuln. Not bad at all. In addition, and this is where it started to get a little bit crazy, this model could not lose more than 3 wounds in the same phase. Any wounds that are lost, or that would be lost after that point, are not lost. On top of that, at the end of each phase, roll a d6 for each enemy vehicle model destroyed as a result of attack made by this model or Catan power used by this model that phase. For every 2+, this model gains 1 wound to maximum of 3 per phase. So, this is a 4-up invuln, which is good. But not only does it have that, but you can only lose 3 wounds per phase. So if you're going against armies that really only focus in on one phase, like Admech, Tau, there's certain armies that really only interact in 1, maybe 2 phases. Maybe they're 1 or 2 phases. They're only going to be losing 3 wounds. So at this, technically this unit, or the dragon, could be killed in 1 turn, but it benefits from the Lookout Sir rule. It can hide because it's a character. It's under 18 wounds, so it can hide from obscure, or using obscure. And not only does it have those things to hide behind, but it's only going to take 3 wounds per phase. So that is absolutely insane. And then you're going to be able to heal, because this thing, once this thing destroys vehicles on a 2-up, you're going to get 1 wound to maximum of 3. So you can even have this thing surviving way longer. The Void Dragon definitely seems super powerful. We'll see what the point cost is and what the Catan powers are. I think those can be really interesting, because the thing is just going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with because of its survivability and the damage. I think that the point cost will really make or break this, but regardless, that is a beautiful model. That I love that the spear right there is just pointed straight at that Magus's head. It's just, he's dead. There's no way he's surviving that. But guys, that has been the look at the new units and rules for the Necron Codex coming out just this next month. Guys, leave a comment down below in what you want to see for these Necrons. If you are maybe you're a Space Marine player and you're like, I think Space Marine should get these rules, you're wrong. I love you, but you're wrong. But yeah, Necron players, let me know what you want to see, what you're hoping for. Are you hoping for the relevant, or for reanimation protocols to be a bit more relevant? I'm personally hoping that rule brings the Horde meta a bit back, because a lot of people are like, oh, Horde's dead, and the Horde's are kind of taking a different shape in terms of taking like a bunch of 10-man units, and some armies taking a bit more, but the Horde's definitely taking different shape. So I think in Necron we will see Horde take a bit more of its form that we saw in 8th edition, in terms of those massive blobs of warriors, or massive blob of any unit, just because of Necrons in their reanimation protocol. I think it'll benefit them to have those big units. But with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you want more content, or don't. I'm not going to tell you to live your guy just as lives. My name's Alex, and you've been watching Major League Nerd.